Gabriel, would you like to go next? Gabriel Perez.
Sure, give me 1 second to get set up. I have a brief PowerPoint and then I'll go into the demo. So can everybody see my screen? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
My name's Gabriel Barris. This is my Capstone. It's a mobile application that I'm calling BaseTap. So a little bit about me as a background. Obviously, I'm a CS major like the rest of you guys, but my minors are in American Sign Language and Cherokee. From Fort Gibson. I live in Tahlequah. Been working for NSU's IT department full time as a programmer analyst since 2023. And future interests are mobile application development and game design. And those are my wife and I, and then our 2 dogs and 2 cats there. So about the project, it's a mobile application built in the case of the Android version, Kotlin, and the cross-platform iOS version is written in Flutter, which can also run in a web browser. It's made for the Star Wars Unlimited card game, but you can use it for others if you'd like. It logs stats from played games. It helps you play games when you're in them. You can look at your win-loss ratios. It stores all this stuff with SQL, and Android's shared preferences feature. And then you can export game results via email. And so a little bit about the need, the reason this exists. So Star Wars Unlimited is a card game. The way that you track how close or how far you are to winning is on what's called a base. Some of them have more, some of them have less hit points on them, but basically there's a bunch of different ways people use physical manipulatives to track this. Some people use dice like the up here. Sometimes tokens that are 10 fives, threes, and ones, etc. But while playing the game, a bunch of people were like complaining that it's hard to read at a glance how much um, someone's life is at, if it's a bunch of dice or if it's a whole bunch of tokens that you have to do math, and then if you're playing the game and you're dealing damage, you have to do math and constantly move tokens around. It's just annoying. And so something that I love to hear as a programmer is that something I wrote made someone's life easier or it saved them time. And so this was something I saw a need for, and I made it since there wasn't anything really on the App Store for it. And the other thing about all this stuff is that it costs money. Like you have to buy dice or buy tokens, etc. Everyone has a phone. So downloading a free mobile app is a lot easier for some people than having to have this stuff on them. And so in the picture right here, this is Edward. He's a little boy who plays this game at the store I play at, and basically it's hard for him to read dice because he's 11, but wants to play the game. And so it was like something I saw a need for, and I thought, hey, this doesn't exist, so I'll make it. And so the key learning areas for the project, both Kotlin and Flutter, I had never touched before this. I'd never written a mobile application before this. So had to learn ground up on Kotlin and Flutter. So that was a good experience. File storage optimizations had to learn. I started with the image database being in PNG, but that made like a really big downloadable file for the actual app on the App Store. So had to like compress them into high efficiency image files, so that it wouldn't take so long to download. And then add some API experience. Used an API for a website that stores the card information to make the database of images. And then Android has what's called intents, which are like when you hit share on something and it pulls up, here's the people you can send it to, or here's the apps you can use to send it, or whatever. And that's how it sends it via email, is you hit share and it pulls up the intents. And then I work in SQL, I write SQL for about 8 hours a day for the last 3 years for work, but further experience using SQL to store player data, what character they're using, etc., how much life each person was at. And so this is the part for the demo. So let me get that pulled up. So this is my phone where I have the app installed. So you open the app up, there is a dialog screen. There's many ways you can play this. You can play with two people. You can play with anywhere up to six people. So the app has basically the easiest way to make it was just make a constructor or like a method for one of these little life counters and then just apply it however many times it needed for the layout. So there's anywhere from just one if you're the only one playing, or two, or however many people you have at your table. So you can select however many people are there. And then whatever these are whatever they were the last time you played. So the has persistent storage on that. So we'll just say this person's me. You can enter a name for your area. Um, top name on the list is Dr. Al Refi on the Zoom call. So we'll say this is Dr. Al Refi, and we'll just say that he won this game against me. And then so my base reached the max amount of HP. And so he won the game. So it pops up this game over, who won the game, and we mark Dr. Al Refi won the game. And if we want to go to the stat screen to look at win rates for, and this tracks based on whatever name you put into the little player area. So he's got a 100% win rate. He's won every single game that we've played. So good job, Dr. El Refi. You're really good at the game. You have a 100% win rate. You can see from the matches I've logged on here, don't have a very good win rate. I have 40% of the games that are logged, but that's stored there. Another thing on the games, as I mentioned, you can share it via email. So let me mark a loss again. And then if you hit email results, you can say, hey, I want to email it to myself. And then this pulls up the intents menu. You go to Gmail, you hit Gmail. You can send it to yourself and let me get that pulled up. So here is the email. It says who won the game. Dr. El Refi won the game. It says what character they were using, what base they were using, what each person was at the end, and if the game would have went long, it would have said how long the game went, because that does matter in the game. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a number of different things here. Like this button is for what's called the initiative, which is just a token that gets passed around that says who goes first. Blast is something in the game that deals damage to everybody. There's an info button that says some info about how to use it. And then that's about it. So let me get back to my presentation. So future next steps, what do I want to plan on doing with the project? It's for a card game. I've had people ask if there's similar things exist for like other card games, just in spaces where I play the game. So I'm thinking about porting the app to work with other games, use whatever those games need out of an app, and then get approved for the iOS store. So it's currently on the Google Play Store. You can look it up and download it yourself, but it's not on the iOS store yet. So in the process of doing that. But that's about it. Are there any questions?
I got a question I could ask. So
What's up?
I see the base you're kind of going for in different card games and stuff like that. Is that something that could expand off into like a game like Magic the Gathering or something where it's kind of similar, where you have um, same kind of thing as you got decks of cards and you can play against other players? Or
Yeah, so there is a version of an app kind of like this for Magic. It's called LifeTap. That's actually why it's called BaseTap.
okay,
Um, because that's in this game, the base is what stores your health, and I lovingly named it after that. But for like Marvel Champions, which is a different card game, and the Lord of the Rings card game, those don't have not that I know about any apps for that kind of thing. So I plan to do that in the future just because I have people I know who play the games and they were like, hey, I like this. Can I, like, is there any possibility of having one for Marvel Champions or whatever in the future? And it was fun. So I plan to port it to those card games as well. Because, like I said, I like to hear that, something I made, someone used it and it made their day a little bit easier. So I do want to work with those games in the future. Yeah.
I have a question.
What's up?
What is your database system? Are you just embedding SQLite?
Yep. It's just SQLite on
Okay.
the shared preferences backend thing on Android. Yeah.
That was interesting that you are asking about embedding. So that's awesome. That's you guys are getting into the next generation of databases. So that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. It basically just uses SQLite on the backend. Yeah. Any other questions?
Yeah. Well, thank you, Gabriel.
Cool.
Next is Preston Petty.